Or shot fire, officer down, shot fire, officer down. Got a city officer down, shot fire.
223, be advised, we have a visual on enemy paratroopers at grid Papa uniforms.
Welcome to the Resilient Warrior Nation, a podcast dedicated to inspiring hope and healing for first responders, military veterans, and anyone facing PTSD and trauma.
Hey guys, welcome to another podcast episode of the Resilient Warrior Nation. I'm your host, Mike Morgan. As you can see today, we have a special episode for you. We're on location. First off, as you see, there are two people to my right. One is my co-host for the first time. This is Greta Vita Everett. Greta's a retired women's physique bodybuilder. She's the founder and owner of GT Fitness Gym in Stuart, Florida. Greta is also the voice behind the Stemless Face Off podcast, where she dives into real, raw conversations with veterans, first responders, and leaders who have faced life's toughest battles head on. Beyond the gym, she's a proud wife to U.S. Army veteran Tyler Everett and a mother dedicated to inspiring strength, both physical and mental, in her community. The man of the hour, Jeff Gum. Jeff Gum is a former U.S. Navy SEAL turned entrepreneur, philanthropist, and captivating storyteller. With a decade of elite service in SEAL Team 5, Jeff deployed twice to the Middle East, first to Fallujah, Iraq as a machine gunner and intelligence rep, and later to the United Arab Emirates as a fire team leader, sniper, and lead breacher with a crisis response element. His military career included selection for the prestigious SEAL, breacher, and sniper schools, a month-long Secret Service mission protecting the president in Hawaii, and a career-altering spinal injury sustained during a hostage rescue training mission. Rising above adversity, Jeff transitioned into a leadership role as lead petty officer, where he developed the SEALs Combatives Instructor Course, trained seasoned SEALs in hand-to-hand combat and prisoner handling. His expertise took him to Copenhagen, Denmark, where he helped the Danish frogmen establish their own combatives program, and to training sites in both Hawaii and Mississippi. MISSISSIPPI. Every time I hear that word, I have to spell it out. In 2017, Jeff left active duty and transformed his military-honed discipline into entrepreneurial success. He founded Sugar Life, a swimwear and athleisure brand inspired by Brazilian shungas he discovered while training with the Gracie family. What began as a bold idea grew into a thriving business under Jeff's leadership, earning him an MBA from UCLA Anderson School of Management in 2021. Today, Sugar Life is worn by celebrities like Mario Lopez, UFC fighters like Nick Diaz, and pro athletes, with features on Fox and Friends, Fox Business with Stuart Varney. In 2023, Jeff started Iron Squad 3, a Korean reality competition that hit #1 on Korean Netflix and Kakao, pinning his team of 4 American operators, special operators, against 5 Korean elite teams in grueling physical and tactical challenges. He's also a recurring standout on Mr. Beast Games, joining fellow Navy SEALs to hunt contestants, vying for a private island and $10 million in Panama, showcasing his strategic mind and relentless drive. Jeff's media presence extends to news commentary on Fox and Friends, Newsmax, and Real America's Voice, where he offers insights on resilience and leadership, and to top podcasts like Hotboxing with Mike Tyson, Team Never Quit with Marcus Luttrell, and Mic Drop with Mike Ridlin, where his stories of SEAL training, combat, and entrepreneurship captivate millions. A passionate advocate for veterans, Jeff co-founded Valor Ranch, an exclusive private shooting range in Palm Beach County with special operations luminaries like Rob O'Neill, Kaj Larson, and Drew Plattis. He serves as a board member of the Adaptive Training Foundation, empowering amputee and spinal cord injury survivors with transformative training and ski trips, and as a scientific master diver with Force Blue, collaborating with scientists to restore Florida's coral reefs and protect sea turtles. An avid participant in the New York City SEAL Swim, Jeff honors fallen SEALs and 9/11 victims while raising funds for the Navy SEAL Foundation. Guys, I did this backwards. Jeff, I'd like to welcome you to the podcast. Greta, it's great to have you as my co-host as well. I am pumped. Like I always do, I like to explain why I wear the shirt. This is not a proclamation. I'm a 30-year retired police officer. And in the spring of 2023, I sat down and watched an episode of The Sean Ryan Show in which the guest host was a man named Eddie Penny. He himself is a former Navy SEAL and Team 6 guy, Deborah operator, as some of you may know. During the podcast episode, Eddie was recounting the story of the Extortion 17 incident, which a Chinook got shot down in Afghanistan, killing all 38 aboard. Those who got killed included Jason Workman, Eddie's best friend. And as Eddie told the story of escorting Jason's body back to his hometown in Utah and then to Arlington National Cemetery, I simultaneously began thinking about a call that I had buried 5 years before of a 2-year-old found floating in a pool. I began crying like a baby. There's no other way to say it. I had no idea what was going on. I actually was asking myself, what the fuck's happening? But I quickly realized that I had suffered some sort of PTS. I don't really like using a D, but everyone knows exactly what that means. So some sort of PTSD in my 30-year career. And I realized that I needed help. I did not want to suffer for the rest of my life. I didn't want to be this honorary guy who hated everything and everyone. So I, at that point decided I was going to try and figure out how to heal. I didn't think traditional counseling was going to do it for me. I didn't think I'd speak to any man or woman behind a desk and they'd be able to help. So I ended up settling on psychedelic therapy, which I'd seen other special forces operators coming back on both Sean Ryan's podcast and others talking about how they're broken men and how they've gone through the healing journey. So in March of 2024, my wife and I went to a place called Soul Quest Ayahuasca Church in Orlando, Florida. And over the course of a weekend, I literally changed the course of my life. And one thing I decided to do, because as I came out of my first journey, the universe told me my new life's purpose was to help other first responders and vets heal their traumas and PTSD issues. Decided to start this podcast to do for others what Sean Ryan's did for me. And I just bring on ordinary people who've done extraordinary things with their lives in the hopes that you men and women who are still going through can identify with them. You see yourselves in them. We talk about the highest of highs, the lowest of lows. And I hope that you get inspired and you get hope and realize you can heal like we've done. So with that, again, I want to welcome my host, and my guest. Jeff, welcome to the podcast, brother.
Thank you for having me, and thanks for coming to the Trident Gym. It's happy to have you guys.
Excellent. Beautiful gym. As you guys can see, this is Jeff's home gym. We're not in a commercial gym. This is where he and Kaj and friends train every day. I would love to have this as my own, but congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
Unbelievable quarters.
Yeah, it is beautiful in here. Thank you so much. I'm honored and privileged to be with both of you guys, both amazing careers. I want to thank you both for your services, incredible stories on both ends. I have both on my podcast, and I just mesmerize every time I hear you guys' stories and what you have gone through and how much you have accomplished. So I'm honored to be here today. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really awesome kind of having this gym as a home base, and you can just have friends over all the time. It's great for the community. Makes it easy to just knock out a workout individually, but then you can just have friends come over all the time and knock out workouts, pro fighters, pro athletes, just business friends. Doesn't matter what people's background are. They come in here, we just get some, and then we hit the sauna, cold plunge. We used to do this a lot in California at Laird Hamilton's house. We'd hit pool workouts, sauna, cold plunge, and now we kind of built our own one here. It was funny. Kaj literally came out to work out like 20 minutes ago. He's like, whoa, he's like, all right, we got something set up. So he just dragged all the equipment outside. He's working out outside right now, doing a high rocks. But yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That is awesome. I love the names, man. You know everyone. Laird Hamilton, Gabby Reese. Yep. Who does this man not know? So it's truly an honor to have you on the show. It's funny, every time I go on your Instagram, you're with like luminaries, dignitaries, pro athletes. It's amazing the people you know, and you always have a smile on your face, brother. Like every time I see you, I told, I think it was Taylor Kavanaugh, he's my mindset coach. I'm like, I need to reach out to Jeff Gum. He seems like the happiest guy in America. Truly. So kudos to you. Today's episode is brought to you by Cutting Edge Testosterone Therapy, a veteran-owned, family-run clinic led by a retired first responder. At Cutting Edge, they help men and women rebuild strength, focus, and vitality through advanced hormone therapy, peptides, and performance-based weight management. Whether you've served your country, your community, or your family, Cutting Edge helps you get your edge back safely, professionally, and with people who understand what service takes out of you. Cutting Edge offers individualized care with no monthly fees or contracts. Learn more at cuttingedgetestosteronetherapy.com. Cutting Edge Testosterone Therapy, built by those who serve for those who still do.
It was crazy. I met Taylor. You know, we were both SEALs, but when we met each other, we didn't know it. We were at a New Year's Eve party, and he saw me. I was with my buddy Kyle Maynard, who was born with no arms or legs, champion wrestler, champion jiu-jitsu fighter, bear crawled Kilimanjaro, Mount Aconcagua, was GNC's world's strongest teen. I'm pushing him in the wheelchair, and he's like hopping out and climbing up the steps to go up to the next floor of the big old boat we were on and everything. And he's like, man, you guys are awesome. I just gotta, and we start talking, we find out we're both SEALs and everything. And we've been boys ever since, you know, but yeah, it's kind of when you're just like on the right path, doors will open where there was previously walls. And that's what just always happens to me now.
That's great. Yeah, I can definitely attest to that fact. Ever since I started my healing journey, the caliber of people like you two that I met, Justin, who's behind doing the production, has been phenomenal. And it's weird. My wife's been into this higher consciousness thing for years. I'm just getting in there, but manifesting and vibrating on a higher frequency, like it's all true. Taylor and I, it's so funny. We're all tatted up. We look like two meatheads. We're on a Zoom. I'm like, what? If people saw us, you know, they think we're talking about guns, girls, drinking, and we're talking about little subjects like I just mentioned. And, you know, it's amazing and just an honor to be in this space and to be able to affect people's lives. So, again, I thank you. And I know that's the way you lead your life.
Yeah. Manifesting's a real thing.
It is.
It's
Yes.
like literally Kyle he was actually one of my heroes. I used to think to myself, all right, if I ever get blown up in Iraq, I'm going to be real strong for my weight class, the way Kyle is in jiu-jitsu and wrestling. And then literally I see him at a beach bar. We end up I say what's up. We end up talking for hours and then become like best friends and traveled the world together. Went to like 20 countries the year I got out of the Navy. And then another time, he's like, hey, I got to show you this documentary. And it's a documentary about Wim Hof, the Iceman. And he's like climbing Everest without a shirt and shoes. And then he's climbing Kilimanjaro and doing all this stuff barefoot. And then I'm like, all right, I got to go to Poland and train with this guy. I go up to Laird's the next day. I'm training at Laird's and there's Wim Hof and we train together. So
Wow.
all kinds of like countless stories like this where I'm like, all right, this guy's awesome. Or Dave Vaboro, one of my best friends, the founder of the Adaptive Training Foundation. I randomly saw a video of him training amputees, and I was living with Kyle at the time. I was like, oh yeah, that guy's awesome. I'd probably be great friends with him. And then within 6 months, he's one of my best friends. I become a board member with Adaptive Training Foundation. And there's just like countless stories of this now where you put the energy out there and all of a sudden the world connects you.
Yeah, I can attest to that fact. It's unbelievable. I mean, your life story is just incredible. And again, it's due to that smile. You like exude happiness. I'm telling you, I would see him all the time smiling. I'm like, I have to have him on. I guarantee he's perfect for my podcast. And it could come to fruition. So it's so true. So let's get to know you a little bit. Just talk about your childhood, where you were raised, how you were raised.
Yeah.
I always ask too, because I didn't realize how big of a phenomenon this is. Most of us haven't had good relationships with our father. I don't know if that's the case with you or not prior to, but that's why I ask specifically.
Yeah. So I grew up in Pennsylvania, actually on a dairy farm, and it was an amazing childhood. Like I would come out, I remember, just being a few years old and going around the farm and didn't even realize it at the time, but that's like growing up rich. Had my own pond, a pony. We didn't have a lot of money, but it was like being rich. All this whole like raw milk from the cows. I never had pasteurized milk till I was 8 years old. Wow. My parents had these big gardens and I would just go out into the garden and just eat everything. And I'd be helping my dad with the hay. I'd be trying to lift the hay bales. They were too heavy for me, but I'd always be trying. I don't even know. They seemed really heavy when I was like, 6 and 7 years old.
He was like 4 foot tall.
I was like trying to lift them all, and like nothing made me happier than trying to help my dad, helping him with the cows, helping him exploring around the farm. It was just awesome. And it all kind of came to an end when I was 8 years old, though. My dad was picking up like farm equipment out in another part of town, and a tractor trailer came across the highway and hit him in the door, and he just never had a chance. So I lost my father when I was 8. We sold. My mom had 3 little kids. She couldn't run the farm on her own. My grandpa had the beginning of Alzheimer's. He was in his like late 70s. He couldn't run it, and we had to sell all the cows, all the equipment. So we kind of lost everything then, and it was very sad time, and I was really angry. And then there was kids in school that would kind of pick on me for losing my father, and then I would just kids that were several years older than me. So I just started fighting all the kids on the bus all the time that would say nasty things about me and my family. And so I think I just always, from that moment, wanted to be strong enough and powerful enough that I can always protect my friends and family and people I love. And I was just doing sport. I just did like every sport I could. Began lifting weights in 6th grade, and went through high school. And while I was a sophomore, I'd actually torn my ACL. I was stuck in a brace. I couldn't play sports anymore. I was going absolutely crazy. And because I'd literally be lifting for 2 hours every day, plus a 2-hour practice. And all of a sudden I couldn't do anything. I was just doing like rehab for 2 hours a day, doing leg raises and everything I could.
Right.
And then a couple of years later, I started powerlifting once I had the surgery and everything to make my legs really strong and try to make sure I never injured my knee again. And then 9/11 happened when I was beginning of my senior year. Well, actually, it was from tearing that I realized I needed the biggest challenge in my life in order to be fulfilled. And I was like, what is that? And I was like, oh, Navy SEAL, Hell Week. Just became obsessed with being a Navy SEAL. 2 years later, 9/11 happened. And now I didn't want to be a SEAL for the challenge or to do Hell Week. I wanted to go hunt the most evil people in the world and make sure 9/11 never happens again. So, but I had been in all the advanced classes. I kind of thought I should do college first. And I was looking at Naval Academy, and then I was like, oh wait, there's ROTC. And I was like, oh, I think doing a normal college would be more fun. And I was like, oh, Florida would be awesome. I ended up going, I talked to my cousins. They're like, hey, we went to UCF. It was amazing. University of Central Florida. So I came down, visited. The campus was unreal. And I was like, okay, I'm going to school in Florida. And then after graduating, I went off and enlisted to go be a SEAL.
Nice. My condolences on the loss of your father. I can't imagine how tough that was.
Yeah.
And kids making fun of that. I mean, what can you say about kids, number one?
Yeah.
You play all sports, right? Growing up, you play football,
Yeah.
you swam, you play basketball.
Well, I did swim lessons. I wasn't really a good swimmer yet. I did soccer, basketball, track, cross country, kicked for the football team. I was always drawn to martial arts, but back then there wasn't much. There was maybe some karate or something, but that wasn't really the best thing for like actually really fighting, as we learned in the UFC. And then once I went to college, I saw a guy at the gym who had like jujitsu shirts and different things. I was like, hey, where do you train? I've been wanting to get into this. A friend of mine was actually a boxer at Larry Holmes's gym, Todd Messinger. And we started training some boxing. And then he's like, hey, check out this DVD. And I saw all these like UFC greatest hits and submissions. And so I just started practicing all these chokes and things on my friends when we'd be out drinking. And they did not like it. Yeah. They did not like it at all. They were always getting choked. And then I started training at the gym, and yeah, everybody started choking me, but it was awesome. I started learning, and then I'd really start choking all my friends. So they're like, we can't have Jeff beating us up all the time. So I got like 10 of my friends to start training jujitsu, and a bunch of them now have their own like Muay Thai schools and jujitsu academies and all this stuff. So yeah, a bunch of them, it literally like became their career.
From the ass whoopings you were
From
giving
the
them as a
ass
kid.
whoopings, we'd come back from the bar and they'd be like, I'd be just choking them all. And they're like, damn, they're like, oh, do that again. Let's go again. Let's go again. I just choking them all. And
These
yeah,
guys all trying to give you old duels.
yeah,
Don't let Jeff get drunk.
Yeah, it was so fun. And yeah, then after, I kind of took 2 years off while I was going through BUDS and SQT. And then once I got to SEAL Team 5, I started training at Victory MMA, which had Jocko and Dean Lister and all these guys. I trained there for about 4 years. Then I got recruited to be a combatives instructor, and we were all training at the Arena MMA, which has like Barrett Yoshida and Crew Mark and Chuck and Vince and these guys. So I started training Jesse Jesse Taylor. So started training for all these guys, all the team, and then they were like our own as instructor. They would come to my academy where we would train all the SQT students, and we had all these pro MMA fighters as our coaches. Nice. It was just awesome. Getting to train all the time. I went up to the Gracies, became a bunch of my best friends. Actually, when I was going through SQT, they were in California. I started going to Brazil with them all the time.
Really?
That's why I created Sunga Life, because I loved the Sungas down in Brazil. I'd go down for like Honis and Chiron and Igor and Gregor and all these guys. It was more for having fun on like Christmas and New Year's. But yeah, so love jiu-jitsu, love Brazil, fell in love with the swimwear in Brazil. And then I started wearing it all over the world, and everybody would be like, hey, where can I get these? These are awesome. I was like, oh, pretty much only in Brazil and Rio de Janeiro. And then as my back kind of started getting worse, I realized I was going to be transitioning out of the Navy. I was like, all right, I had always wanted to be an entrepreneur. My cousins were very successful business guys. My cousin Lou now founded like Echelon Fitness. Greg had a fish finder and depth finder company. So I was really drawn. I just didn't know what I wanted to do as a company. And then I found soon, I'm like, all right. And it ended up being my first company was a swimwear and athleisure brand. And I brought it through the UCLA entrepreneurship pipeline and brought it through several accelerators and Startup UCLA, Anderson Venture Accelerator, and the Business Create. So it ended up being my master's thesis as well at UCLA. So it was a great, because I knew while I was at UCF, kind of studying business can be a little boring. If that's, I was just like studying business and training jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai every day. I was like, the jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai was way more fun. But actually doing business is really fun. If you're just studying like finance or accounting, it's not that fun. But if you're applying it to a actual company and trying to grow it and scale it, and that is really fun. So being able to take, and then having other MBA students work on it for a grade, helped me a lot, helped it scale. So yeah, it was all awesome stuff.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's incredible. But tell us about Buds, how you had to go 3 times.
Tell
that story, because that's very rare.
Yeah, big time.
Very rare.
Yeah. So after I graduated, I got connected with a mentor, and he would train people before they get ready to go to Buds. His name was Mike Gecka, and he was a pretty infamous first phase instructor, and now he led a mentorship program. So you have to pass a physical screening test with him. And I became really close with him because my first day showing up, other people were leaving for boot camp, and I did the PST, and I just smash everybody in it. And then more people come, we do it again. I smash everyone in that. More people come, we do it again. He's like, hey, you don't have to do it again. I'm like, I'm not going to just watch people work out. I'm going to actually get some. Yeah. And then I just smash everybody again. And I thought, everybody going to Buds was going to be this absolute stud. And a lot of the guys that were trying to go were actually pretty soft.
Really?
And I mean, they're probably, a lot of them didn't even get to the first day, so the minimum standard is not, you don't want to be hitting the 52 push-ups or whatever amount that the minimum is. You want to get like 90 or 100. You want to be maxing it out. So a lot of people are hitting the minimum to be able to get the contract, while I was hitting in 90, 100, 110 sit-ups, 90 plus push-ups, 20 pull-ups, and my swimming wasn't great yet, but I just had to work on that. So we became really close from that, and he got me connected with a Ranger, Rick Lorimore, who had a diving company. Okay. And he trained me in diving. So I wanted to eliminate any weakness I had. I wanted to just be ready, really ready to go. And I trained with Mike all the time, swimming and collegiate swimmers. And I just tried to get really strong before I went. So I went to boot camp, get to Buds, everything's going great, and go through first phase. Never fail a single thing. Not one run, not one swim, not one O course. Even the drown proofing and things I wasn't great at, I still passed, even if it wasn't pretty. Yep. And then Friday before Hell Week, I got, because of the like runoff, when it rains, all this sewage runs from the Tijuana River into the Pacific Ocean, and then the current brings that up.
Yeah, I heard
and
guys
then
talking about that.
we're out doing, and this has been going on since the 60s.
It's amazing.
So we're out there getting surf tortured, and all this sewage from Tijuana is coming up. And so lots of people get viral gastroenteritis. And I didn't even know this at the time. I found out later, and then it can also run rampant through the barracks as well. So even if you don't get it from the sewage in the water, you'll get it from another bud student. So one of the like trial, it's, you know, it's kind of hard enough already. And then now you are just puking and having diarrhea and all these horrible things.
Excuse me one second. It's amazing to me that they know you guys are getting exposed to this
Since the
and don't
60s.
change it to another, you know, maybe go East Coast of Virginia. Like, you're exposing all these recruits to sewage.
That
it's
is
amazing.
crazy.
Yeah. And so, or they could move it a little north,
Yeah,
or
somewhere else.
Or they've been trying to put the pressure on Mexico. Finally, Pete Hegseth, the EPA director, Zeldin, and Trump are putting the pressure on Mexico. Mexico finally, because they were actually taking sewage into the treatment plant, but they couldn't treat it because Tijuana's grown so much. So they just take it into the plant and pump it in the ocean as well. And finally, we got the leadership because they built this $1 billion facility in Imperial Beach now, too. The SEAL teams can't even go into the Pacific Ocean 90% of the time because the water's so bad. It's literally even closer than Coronado. It's directly north of Tijuana. So I got extremely sick and was just throwing up. I couldn't even drink water. They were only just putting IVs in me. It was the only way to try to be hydrated. And then finally, like Saturday night, I could eat a little food, and then started Sunday, but I was super dehydrated. Then from being so dehydrated and then having extreme exertion, like hypothermia, because it was a winter class. We had like 25 people quit at Steel Pier, 25 some people quit at the buoy swim. People were just passing out from being so cold. And so I'm pretty resilient to the cold water, but being very dehydrated and doing the extreme exertion, just running, you run like 50 miles with a boat on your head and lunging with logs. And the first day went well, but then the next day, everything started failing on me. And I thought it was from I thought it was from the VGE and everything was making me weak and being dehydrated. And then all of a sudden I became the weakest person in the class, and maybe like 5 people on Tuesday got dropped or quit. Oh, it's very front loaded. We started Hell Week with 100 people, finished with 36. I was the 37th one left. I ended up developing rhabdomyolysis, where your muscles break down so much your blood becomes toxic with muscle waste.
Wow.
And it had never been diagnosed before because everyone that gets it quits. So
Was it painful? Painful condition?
it was, yeah, excruciating.
Wow.
It was excruciating. And your body is so weak that you're like, oh, maybe I don't belong here. And it's so physical, it becomes mental.
Sure.
So they come up like Tuesday night, an hour before Wednesday, which like pretty much everyone makes it then. Everyone did make it then. And they're like, yeah, we're performance dropping you. You haven't been keeping up. And I was like, can you just take me out to the ocean and surf torture me for the rest of the week? I'll do anything to stay. I know I've been like really bad, but I know I'm supposed to be here. And they're like, you're crazy. I'm like, okay, I need to go to medical then because something is wrong with me. I got to find out what it is because I need to start over again then. So there's usually a quitter room everyone goes to. And I was like, I'm not going to that quitter room either. I didn't say that, but I just couldn't go. I just couldn't go there.
You were no quitting.
You're not quitting.
Their team no quit here.
So I go to medical, and I'm like, I thought there's a thing that also happens to bud students that pretty much only happens to people that climb Mount Everest and get pulmonary edema. Ours is called swimmer-induced pulmonary edema. I thought I had that because I felt like I couldn't really breathe either. And they put a pulse ox on me and had me be on like an assault bike. And my pulse ox was fine, but I was just like struggling at I was just so unbelievably weak. So they're like, no, you're fine, whatever. And so I just go to my room, not going to the quitter room. And then we have it's Wednesday. The 5 people that didn't make it Tuesday, they're all going to XDiv, which is where all the quitters go. They're wearing the Navy utilities. I'm like, I'm not wearing that quitter uniform either. I wore my dress blues. I go in, everybody talks to the senior chief, and we're all 5 of us. I'm like, hey, can I talk to you after? And I was like, hey, senior chief, I'm 23. I have a college degree. I never failed anything this entire time leading up to Hell Week. All these people that didn't pass a single run, didn't pass a single swim, they all get another shot and get to start all the way over again. And you can take away you don't have to pay me the rest of buds. You can take away the $40,000 bonus. I was like, I just need another shot. I just need to be healthy. I had VGE and couldn't drink water and then did Hell Week, super dehydrated. I just want another shot. And he's like, damn, you are the first one to ever walk in here and want to do this again. I like your mindset. We're not going to not pay you because that's like the Navy has to pay you. But I like your mindset. I'm going to talk to some other instructors. And I call my mentor too. I'm like, hey, Mike. He's like, what are you calling me in Hell Week for? What happened? What are you doing? You didn't quit, did you? I'm like, no, I didn't quit. My body just stopped working. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to start over again. He's like, okay, I'm going to call the guys I know, get you back in. I go back the next day, and the senior chief's like, there was another guy, Master Chief Guild, who was a mentor for us, speaking about stoicism and delayed gratification. And you always hear these crazy rumors. Oh, the buds instructors made me quit. I didn't really quit. Like all these kind of like not justified things. I was like, all right, if I ever have something like this happen, this is the guy I'm going to. This legendary SEAL Team 6 Master Chief that is I'm going to go to him. And so I go to him. I'm like, hey, I want to meet with you. I got performance dropped. I never failed a thing. I just got really sick. He's like, you deserve another shot. I'm training all the guys who are making it through Hell Week, getting them ready for second phase. You have it mentally. We just need you to be ready physically. And be healthy. And he's like, you didn't ring the bell. You deserve another shot. I go back, and then the senior chief's like, hey, I talked to the instructors and they don't think you deserve another shot.
Really?
Because
well, how did you get cured from this condition now?
I still had it.
Oh, you still had it?
I still
had it. So it's not even diagnosed yet.
And nobody, it wasn't diagnosed. They just knew I was sick. I was like, that's because they only saw me being sick in Hell Week. They don't really remember me when I was strong and doing everything well in first phase. They just remember me being the weakest guy because I was sick. I was like, Master Chief Guild thinks I deserve another shot. Mike Gecka thinks I deserve another shot. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna get some of the chiefs and bring them in here. Come back in an hour. And 2 come in, and we like go through this again. And they're like, why do you want to be a SEAL? I was like, one of the biggest reasons is I love the quote, all it takes for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. I'm ready to do everything. And they're like, all right. It ends up going back and forth. It goes up, a chit's put up to the CEO of Buds, and he signs off on it. And I get another shot. And now I go over to...
Can I just interrupt for 1 second? So if these guys who quit get a second chance, you did not quit. How come they're giving you such a hard time?
They didn't quit. They just never passed a single. You have to pass at least one run. Have to pass at least one swim. I never even failed one. You do 3 runs, 3 swims, 3 O courses. I didn't fail a single thing. I even passed drown proofing, which you can fail and then you can just try it again after Hell Week. You can like these different things. I passed all of it.
Gotcha.
Even I turned green on the drown proofing because I was so hypoxic. I turned like greenish blue, and I was horrible at drown proofing, and I was like drowning basically the whole time because I wasn't very good in the water yet, or at least good to the point where I'm swimming like 100 meters with my hands and feet tied together. I didn't have this. I developed this new technique. It became easy by the 3rd time I did it. But so we go back. I go over to what's it called? PTRR, physical training, resting, and recuperation. And we basically get there, and it's the in-doc instructors, and they're like, Jeff, what do you do? Or Gum, what are you doing here? you're supposed to be at X-Div. I'm like, hey, I got another shot. They're like, who do you know? I'm like, it's not really that I know anyone. I just never failed anything. And I explained it. Also, Mike Gecko was my mentor. But like, I just want another shot. I got really sick. I never failed anything before. And some of the instructors were pissed. They're like, why is he getting another shot? And other ones were like, well, he's not really getting that much. It's not like they gave him a brown shirt. You get a brown shirt after making it through Hell Week. They're like, he's starting all the way over. So they're like, all right, whatever. I go into the next class and I go from never failing anything to not being able to pass a single evolution, because I go straight from Hell Week, having VGE, getting rhabdo, not getting any recovery time, and going back into Indoc in first phase. Wow. And now I have rhabdo, and you need rest and hydration and sometimes IVs to like flush your system. And I'm just like back in, just getting pounded every day. So I'm back in first phase and I can't pass a run. I can't pass a swim. I think I passed O course, which you can basically walk. It's more like technique that you have to be good at. In first phase, you have to get faster and faster by second and third phase. But so I probably passed the O course, but then we do boats on heads and log PT, and I'm just like so unbelievably weak. I don't know what it is. I can like barely lift the log. I can barely run. I fall out from under the boat again, and now the instructors like who didn't really know me in the first class, now I'm the guy that got back in and shouldn't have, and they're all just gunning for me. So I'm falling out from under the boat. I can't, and usually when people fall out from under the boat, they all quit because they can't take it mentally either. I knew I was supposed to be there. I knew I was strong. I just knew something was wrong with me. I looked at it. I thought of my grandpa fighting in Korea, Joseph Aarons, who had been shrapnel through the neck, shot in the chest, and would just get patched up and go out and keep fighting, and didn't even tell his parents as a 20-year-old that he was wounded because he didn't want them to worry. He fought for a year straight in Korea as a sniper, rocket launcher, doing everything over there. And I'm like, my grandpa couldn't quit in Korea. I can't quit now. And I think of like Marcus Luttrell, even if it's I'm like, I might not make it, but I will not quit. I don't care if there's 100 Taliban surrounding me in the mountains. I'm not going to quit. I'm just going to, and all the instructors like gunning for me. I just wouldn't quit. I don't want to give them any satisfaction. Sure. And when you quit, you have to ring the bell and then take your helmet, which has your name on it, and put it down. Ooh. And then everyone looks at it for like the next 2 months. Oh and God. I'm like, there's no way there's ever going to be a helmet with my friend said it to me before I even did buds. He's like, oh, what would you do if you quit? I'm like, quitting is like committing suicide to me. It's like, it's like giving up. Yep. I'd be as likely to jump off this building as I would to ring the bell. It's just an impossible motion. I just don't have it in me, especially on the thing I talked about since I was 16 and was obsessed about. I was never gonna go back to my family and be like, oh yeah, the thing I never shut up about, I quit on because I was having a little problem or whatever.
That mental fortitude is incredible. I just want to tell you right now, with your body failing you, I mean, almost 100% of men would quit on that alone. So, man, I applaud you, brother. Not that you need it, but that's incredible to me.
So I go back and I finish the first week of first phase now, and it's all going horrible. I'm failing everything. And we do a boats on heads, and I fall out. I can't keep up. I have all the instructors pushing me. I can't even, people running with the boat on their head. I'm not even as fast as them. I'm trying to catch up to the boat. They're just running off. And then I have all like 10 instructors in almost like a boardroom, and I'm there and they're all yelling at me, asking me why I'm so weak. And I'm like, I swear something's wrong with me. And they're like, again? Shut up, keep making excuses. Stop making excuses. Stop making, I'm like, I swear, I was strong like a couple months ago. I don't know what's going on. Stop saying that. Stop making excuses. You need to figure it out. I'm like, all right, I got the weekend. I'm going to recover. I'm going to come back and crush the next run. And we come back Monday. I start like first 100 meters. I just take off. I'm like, all right, here we go. And I can't. And like after 100 yards, all of a sudden it feels like I have knives in my shins. Wow. It feels like I have boots of like concrete, and my knees are hurting, and my thighs, it feels like I have a knife in my thighs, like they're cramping, and I'm trying to run, and I can't even like I'm like sending the signals to my body to run, and it just won't do it. And I'm just trying to go, and I'm so far behind everyone. And I got first phase, their instructors in a truck, and they're driving behind me. Now my class that is now in second phase, they start a run, and they start like 10 minutes after me, and they all come flying by me. Come on, Jeff, you got it. Cause they knew me as strong. Yeah. They saw me perform until like whatever happened. And they're like, some guys told me later, yeah, we thought you were like quitting. We didn't really know. We just, you didn't seem like you were trying. And they all fly by me. So now second phase instructors are also in a truck. They pull up on my left. First phase is on my right. There's a Navy ship out there in the ocean. First phase is telling second phase, don't worry, you're never going to meet this guy. He's going to be on the Navy. This pussy's going to be on the Navy ship out there. I'm like, wow, I might have the worst life in the whole world right now. I was like, this
Don't feel sorry for myself.
This is, I can't
even imagine.
This is not how it's supposed to be going. I was like, maybe I'm not going to make it. I'm like, I know one thing, though. The one thing I can control, I am not going to quit. And I'm just going slow as a snail, trying to go as fast as I can. But it's just the signals are not working. Finally finish. I'm in last place by 6 minutes and run a 40:08 4-mile in the sand. And then they like have me do all these push-ups or whatever. They like beat me on the beach for a while doing everything. And then they're like, okay, you're done. And I go up. I think they thought I was going to quit. And I always liked it when they thought I was going to quit. And I of course wasn't. So I'd be like, hey, and they're like, you quitting? And I'm like, no, I need to go medical because I need to find out what's wrong with me. And they're like, damn it. So I go to medical, and I go in, I tell the doctor, I'm like, hey, I don't know what's happening. I was really strong before. I never failed anything. Now I can't pass anything. I'm 23. I have a college degree. I don't need to get stronger. I just need to find out what's wrong with me because they're going to kick me out of here and never let me come back. I'm like, I am not looking for a way out. This is all I want to do. And they're like, wow, it sounds like you got this thing, rhabdomyolysis. And I'm like, I didn't think it was that because I had been going to medical. I'd been getting x-rays for stress fractures. I'm like trying to find everything. Sure. Nothing is coming back correct. Nothing is going my way. And so I go to medical, or he sends me to get labs. While I'm getting labs, they're doing boats on heads more. And the instructors are like, where's Gum? They want to crush me. And they were so mad I'm not there. So I come back, and it's a pool. They see me. They're like, you were hiding in medical during this. They take my helmet, which is like your pride and joy. They smash it. I still have my helmet with this big, beautiful smash on it as a sign of perseverance and like what I was going through from my class 271 there. And we do some drown proofing. It's at least like stuff in the pool, not too crazy. We go back, and Dave Hansen, who's like this legendary SEAL, he was in active valor and everything. He's our proctor, and he's talking to the whole class, which is probably 200 some people at this point. And all of a sudden the same doctor walks in, and he tells him like, I have rhabdo and whatever. And he's like, Gum, he's from Staten Island. He's like, Gum, you got something I never heard of before. Rhabdomyolysis. I'm like, I actually have it.
Yes.
I want you to sick.
I'm not a pussy. I'm not a pussy. My God. I was starting to doubt it. And so they send me on convalescent leave, which is a medical leave. I go home to Pennsylvania. My mom's like worried I'm going to die because I'm like all these, she's all worried and crying.
Of course. That's what moms do.
And so I just get like rest and hydration. I come back, and they have me as light duty for a bit. And Ty Woods becomes my instructor, who's the hero of Benghazi. He's training the brown shirt rollbacks. And so I think I'm maybe another week off where I'm just walking, and then another week maybe I'm doing some core and some upper body, and my legs are still hurting. I still could feel I had it in there. And then you just need rest and hydration basically, and the legs to really get it out of the legs. And then all of a sudden everything felt great, and I didn't really have to get in shape again. I had been in shape. I just had all this muscle waste in my blood that was messing up all my training. And all of a sudden I was so hard and like mentally tough from having my body not work and trying to push through it, that now I'm like a super athlete again. And
Almost like throwing a 100-pound weight vest off and now you're doing without that.
Exactly what
So
it's
with these
like.
guys, I know they wouldn't kiss your ass, but they had to give you some respect. Knowing what you just went through.
So I come back and I have a few weeks of hitting hard workouts with Ty Woods while they actually don't even make me do Indoc again. And I'm just crushing hard workouts. And then after that we're doing during the day, and then I would put on a weight vest and I would run and do sprints and just lunges and Tabata squats with a weight vest on, and just like got in the best shape of my life. And now I come back and and now I've done everything with my body not working. I've done all the things, like you have a barracks inspection, you have personal inspection, your uniform, and I've been through this twice already. It's my third time. So I know everything coming, and now I'm a super athlete and I'm used to doing it with my body not working. And I'm just like, everything we're doing, I'm just almost laughing. I'm like, I go from a 48 4-mile to coming in the top 10 on the first run, run like a 28-minute 4-mile in the sand. I just come across the finish line. I stare at all the instructors like, look who's back. I just kind of say that with my eyes. And I'm like, look who's back. And I just come across, and then I just start dominating, never fail anything, dominate everything. Instructors would put me in the 2 spot for the boats, and I would get the strongest guys in my class. Many were rollbacks. And so we know all this stuff coming. So we do in the height line, we're like, all right, get all the strongest guys together. And then we just win everything over and over. And he'd be like, why does this boat crew keep winning? I'd go, because we got rhabdo. and we go into Hell Week. And I was a little nervous before Hell Week because I got my soul crushed in Hell Week with my body not working, having all that. And then we're going through and everything just goes great. And I went from doing it in the winter to now I'm doing it in August, and I could be out getting surf tortured and I'm like, people are passing out unconscious next to me. I'm just like, wow, this is like, this feels good.
Really? It's almost easy for you.
It was easy.
Wow.
And then instructors would come across looking at everyone shivering and all this stuff. And I'm like, not one shiver.
What?
Not, because you know how you can stop a shiver? You just kind of flex and everything. I'm like, not one shiver. Don't let them see you shiver.
Damn.
Like, not one.
I'm not a pussy.
And I just stare at them like, yup. And then, yeah, everything's going well. We get to Hell Week, and guys are coming up to me like, oh, I'm gonna quit, man. Good luck with the rest. I'm like, you're not quitting. And they'd be like, no. I'm like, you're not quitting. I'll punch you if you go try. And they're like, okay. And then they'd run off and quit as soon as they weren't next to me. I was trying to like keep some guys strong.
Oh yeah.
But when people make up their mind, there's nothing you can do. And I just knew how much they had regretted it, because they were guys who had quit before and come back. I knew how much they had regretted it. I was like, just keep going. Like, just keep going. All you gotta do is keep going. You're not. And so finish. Master Chief Gould coming around, and he's like motivating everybody after a meal or something. And I'm like, wow, Hell Week's easy when you don't have rhabdo. And he's like, and so end up making it through. I call my mom and sister, and they're like all like, they were in the car. They were like, kind of screaming, happy, excited for me. And then, yeah, everything just went so much better. It ended up being like the greatest lesson too. And then even the Master Chief Gould, to my class, he spoke about Mikey Mansour. He wasn't the best Bud student, but he was just a tough mother effer. And he jumped on the grenade to save his brothers. And I would think that to myself. I'm like, I don't have to be the best bud student. I just have to be that tough mother effer. And I would think about that a lot. I'm like, things are not going perfect. Things don't go perfect in war. It's how you react to it. And
life.
And life,
great
100%. And then it was crazy. So he spoke about Mikey Mansour to my class. The class after me, he spoke about me.
Really?
He was like, Jeff Gunn went through all this, never gave up, persevered. Instructors didn't believe on him. They performance dropped him. He talked his way back in, refused to quit. No matter how bad it gets for you in this hell week, it's not as bad as he had it. And that ended up being one of my greatest honors, is having him speak about me like that to the class after me. And so it just shows you, like, if I had, it was kind of like the hero's journey. I learned about the hero's journey later on, where it's like Star Wars, the Return of the Jedi and the Empire Strikes Back. All these things is what Joseph Campbell helped the archetypes through that. And so I didn't even know I like went through the hero's journey where everything was going great. And then you get hit with rhabdo and your dreams are ripped away. Everything I dreamed about for 7 years at that point, a huge part of my life, my whole adult life, I dreamed of it, had it ripped away, persevered, still pushed through, and then made it in spite of all these things happening. It never happened where someone was performance dropped and able to get back into training like that, and then especially to make it. So
Amazing.
And I was the first diagnosed with rhabdo, and then other people actually started getting diagnosed after me, and it probably wouldn't have happened if I hadn't.
Right, if you would've
like,
quit,
they
if
didn't
I
have
would have
known.
quit,
Yeah.
they would have known, because everybody just quits when they get rhabdo, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm sure your mind just
So-
takes over. You can't do
Yeah.
anything like
That's wild.
to the level you were doing before, and you just think it's a physical thing.
And it became the greatest lesson for the rest of life moving forward. Every time there's a challenge in business, even when I was studying really hard quantitative classes for my MBA, studying finance, financial accounting, all the problems that arise as an entrepreneur, I'm like, this is nothing compared to what I went through, like with rhabdo and VGE and Hell Week. I was like, just keep pushing, don't give up, and it's part of the hero's journey, and you'll be stronger on the other side. So it made me grateful for challenges that come into my life, and forces me to focus on the solution, don't focus on the problem. And
great
what I
mindset.
thought was the
that.
worst thing to happen to me in my personal life ended up being the greatest gift. So if you look, every time you have something challenging happen, you're like, look at it as a gift, and it changes allows you to reframe it and focus on the positives.
Yeah,
And all
mental
the-
mindset, basically the same thing. Like, number one, never let yourself be a victim.
Yeah.
Number two, look for that lesson. Everything that happens in your life could be the most visceral pain in the world, but after what you went through, there's literally nothing that can stop you the rest of your life. Like, every time something tough comes up, I'm sure you reference back to that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just phenomenal. It's mind-boggling. And for those you men and women who are going through it right now, I know things are tough, but listen to this man, almost lost his dream. He thought it was himself that was failing. It was actually his body that was failing him. He didn't know it, but he did not quit. I mean, think of that mental fortitude it takes, guys. So never fucking one foot in front of the other, man. Just keep moving forward.
Yeah, and if you look at, a lot of people focus on the bad things in their life, and they're like, oh, I got PTSD, and that's what they focus on. But if you're like, hey, I went through these traumatic things and they made me stronger, it's like I got post-traumatic growth. So it's like,
Right.
which wolf is going to grow stronger? It's like the one you feed. If you say, hey, I have this post-traumatic growth, I'm stronger because of all these things that happened in my life, it'll make you stronger than you ever could have been before. It's all the resiliency that you have to develop because of that. Whereas if you never went through anything tough, you're not going to be very tough.
Yeah.
And some people, it ruins them, and it ruins their life. But
Absolutely.
it's never too late
Yeah.
either. It's never
Right.
too late to change your mindset on it.
Yeah, huge, very, very good point. I love it. So now, how many times did you deploy after you went to
Twice.
the teams? And where'd you go?
twice. So first one was to Iraq, Fallujah in 2010, 2011. So we were on a forward operating base and would basically just go out and get terrorists in the middle of the night who were making bombs and different things. So that was my first one. I came back and then did came back, basically went straight to breacher school, Hearst Cast Master, did sniper school, which was about 3 months in Indiana, which is actually a great place for sniper training because it's so windy out on the plains. So you have to get really good at calling wind and everything. And then started my actually did a mission to Hawaii, working with the Secret Service, protecting the president. And then started my next workup, went to the Middle East again, all over several places, but mainly based out of Abu Dhabi in the UAE. And then that's where we were training a lot because we were the crisis response element. So we were basically ready if something happened to like hostage situation, pirates, another Benghazi type situation. If people were in an embassy and needed to be evacuated, we could go in. So we were just training all the time and doing a hostage rescue training mission. I was fast roping onto a roof, just landed normal like I had done many times. But you try to go fast. You got to have your gun up right away because that's where the helicopter is vulnerable. That's where most SEALs have died, being shot down with an RPG. So you got to go really fast, get guns on the ground, and be ready. And so didn't even know it, but as I landed, I herniated my L5S1 and went through the house, cleared it, and got back on the helicopter, went back. I just ate some food, went to bed, woke up with crazy sciatica pain, and it was running over my IT band, and then my foot didn't work. So my foot was just like slapping everywhere I went. I had drop foot. I was like, wow, is this like, am I having an IT band issue and it's making my foot not work? And I was meeting with a PA and the corpsman, and they realized it was from my spine, and they were calling neurosurgery at Landstuhl Hospital, which is where everyone goes if they get hurt in Afghanistan or in the Middle East. You fly back, have a surgery there. And so they literally like, you got to fly out tonight. I flew there, landed. The PA in neurosurgery met me, brought me in, walked me in to get an MRI. He could just tell by the way I was walking and feeling my foot. He's like, you need surgery tomorrow morning. You're scheduled for 7 a.m. So that was the end of my second deployment, like 4 months in. And that's where I kind of became, I flew back, missed the last couple months of deployment. And then, so I just did kind of some schools, got like my range safety officer, dive soup, did some ATV driving with Ricky Johnson, and then did a bunch of physical therapy nonstop for my back, getting it strong again. And then did the instructor qualification course and became an instructor. I had been recruited by my former platoon chief to be a combatives instructor since I had that background, and started.
So is this at Buds or this is elsewhere?
Awesome.
You're actually
so
training
it's
SEALs.
SEAL qualifying training.
Okay.
So it's after Buds, and then it's at Advanced Training Command. And then we created the combatives instructor course too. So guys who were more advanced operators, we'd put them through 6 weeks of training, and then they could train their platoon on training trips or on deployment and make sure everybody was on the same page for that. So trained there, and then I would go up to like Orange County and train with the Gracies or train with Brian Ortega and a bunch of great people, train at the arena all the time, or they'd come to us.
Nice.
And it was kind of the coolest instructor job you could have, just training MMA all the time, teaching the prisoner handling. It was awesome. I also had tons of leave saved up, so I'd go on trips to Brazil and wherever. And then my back, I was supposed to be 100%, but my back started getting worse. And I'd just be training jujitsu and be injuring it. And so I kind of I realized I couldn't really go back to a platoon. And So I saw one door closing, but another one opening. I'd always wanted to be an entrepreneur and found my own company. And I had a bunch of friends in LA who had done their MBA at Wharton and had really successful companies. So I saw one door closing, one opening, started studying the GMAT, launched my own swimmer and athleisure company, Sunga Life. And then, I started transitioning out of the Navy. I did the Honor Foundation, which helps SEALs and other special operators transition out. And they put me in touch with a bunch of UCLA faculty. And I went there, toured the campus, loved it, and then started, but I knew I wanted to do kind of a gap year and travel the world for a year, because I think it's kind of a priceless education as well, just going and seeing the world. So I literally went all the way around the world with my friend who doesn't have arms or legs, Kyle, and then just had nonstop adventures for a year, came back, got my application in for grad school. Then we went, climbed the highest mountain in Australia, took him to the Great Barrier Reef. I just held his scuba tank and swam him all around the Great Barrier Reef. And it was like bringing him to another planet that he thought he'd never be able to see, the whole reef and all the sharks and octopuses and giant clams and all this crazy stuff. So
That's great.
it was amazing.
so
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
what a friend, man. Number one.
Yeah.
So you had no problem transitioning out. Like a lot of guys have no purpose when they get out. They're not really sure what they're going to do. They're no longer that thing. You were fine with that because you went in.
Yeah, I had
or no?
So I had a great transition. A lot of people, while I was doing the Honor Foundation, a lot of people would talk about, I'm so scared. I'm more scared about, a lot of SEALs were more scared about transitioning out of the Navy than they were about being in gunfights in Afghanistan or Iraq. And I wasn't nervous because I knew I was just going to be traveling the world, having a time of my life.
For a
I
year.
was excited for a new challenge as well. And I would think about founding my company and doing grad school the way I thought of buds, and I had new excitement. So you never want to let your memories be bigger than your dreams. So it was just I was using my background as a SEAL and all the things I had done as laying a great foundation that was going to allow me to do more epic things in life and still be engaged with the community, because isolation is really a killer when people get out. So I stayed very involved with a lot of foundations, started doing the Hudson Seal Swim every year with Bill Brown and getting everybody to wear a Sunga Life while we did that. And Pete Hegseth was my swim buddy multiple times on that, which was pretty cool, having the Sec War be your swim buddy. And he was awesome on that and supported us, getting us unreal coverage on Fox and Friends, literally did it with us, not being a very good swimmer at first. And then he trained and did great the follow-on ones. But yeah.
You guys wearing your suits? This?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
every
cool.
year,
Everyone had
every
the same.
year.
Oh, nice,
Totally.
nice.
Every year.
Yeah, they look cool as shit. I like them.
Everybody rocks it, and we have a different color or camo pattern. This last one, we had tiger camo from Vietnam. So that was really fun.
Yeah, I was talking to Rob Sweetman. He was on my podcast. He was talking about how the tide was super tough for you guys. It was like washing guys under the wharf or whatever over there.
Yeah, so the first leg, we're swimming against the tide, crazy current. You got to like really swim hard to get through it. The next one, we're swimming with the tide. It was probably a 12-minute swim because we're just like every stroke you're getting two. But then I'm I'm getting close. So I'm like, I got to get over to the ladder. A lot of people were getting pushed like under the barge almost,
that's what you're saying.
struggling. There was like a wave and they're coming in, waves kind of bouncing against it. I almost rode a wave, basically just body surfed it right to the ladder, crashed into the ladder, and just started going up it. I'm like, sorry, not quite waiting my turn. I'm here. I'm going up right away. And yeah, got up there. Other guys started almost drowned. It was bad, or they got pushed around and had to get picked up around it. And then, yeah, we had almost 400 people swimming.
That's amazing.
It's unbelievable.
And so, yeah, it was a good experience. Then we had to do pull-ups and push-ups and all the things. And then we get giant American flags and we run to America's Response Monument. It was really cool. We had a 9/11 survivor who literally, the tower got hit. They're like, I know I'm always told not to take the elevator, but I'm getting in this elevator. And they got in, it like opened up, a couple people got in, went down again. couple other people. She just looks at everybody not getting in and goes all the way down. She gets out, like runs away, and then the whole tower comes down.
Wow.
And she's like, the only reason I like lived is because I like did what I'm not supposed to do, but I had the feeling I need to get out of there. And so she spoke about her experience, and then Rob O'Neill came and spoke about, you know, at the America's Response Monument. It's like a special forces soldier on a horse, and hearing this woman talk about being a survivor, and then Rob, who is America's Response, hunting bin Laden down, putting bullets in him, and he's telling his perspective. So that was like a really awesome experience seeing both of them. And we had in the past, we had Bernard Carrick speak, who was a NYPD commissioner at the time. So we have all these amazing speakers come and talk there. So yeah, it's always an unbelievable event. It's like the most patriotic day in New York every year.
Yeah,
and
I want to go up there and see it. If
yeah,
the civilians, are they able to participate, or it's solely
yeah,
SEALs?
we let civilians do it. Yeah,
I may have to train
First
and do
responders
that.
too, right? You have first responders out there, so it's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, I can get in under the first
You
responder
can,
umbrella.
yeah.
So
Totally.
yeah, I saw a ton of footage of you guys this year, and I was just like, I have to do that. So I'm actually going to think about training. Actually, forget about thinking. I need to train and get out there next year because it looks so patriotic. I just love seeing you guys out
It's
there.
beautiful.
I don't know. It's just like giving me like goosebumps, like watching you guys. Just I don't know. The patriotism was just sick.
It's amazing. And I had friends who were, you know, some of the guys that went to Wharton, and they'd see me do it every year. And then I'm like, hey man, you should do it. This was a few years ago. And I've had a bunch of my best friends, and they're like, really? You think I could? I go, you just got to put in the time, get the miles in, and you should do it. And they told me after, they go, this is a cool, one of them was from the UK, and he moved here maybe 15 years ago. He goes like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done since being an American. I never would have imagined I'd be able to run with Navy SEALs carrying these giant American flags and swimming with them and doing all this epic stuff. It's literally the coolest thing I've done as an American. And so it's very special.
Yeah, Ray Cash Cat was on my podcast like the Tuesday after, so we spoke about that at length. And I love that dude. He's like Mr. Positive as well. You guys are like twins in that respect. But he was telling me all about it, and I'm like, I think I need to do this, man. You know, knock it off the bucket list. It just got put on a bucket list, and I want to knock it off the bucket list. It just seems like, I don't know, just hanging out with absolute
It's crazy
warriors.
how random things get put on your bucket list. I remember after I did Mike Tyson's podcast, I'm like, that was never on my bucket list, but that's one of the coolest things on my bucket list now. Like,
Mike Tyson, that was he
Mike
to
was
interact with.
He was so awesome. Like, so, like at the end, he's hugging me. We're telling these stories. It was like a 90-minute podcast, and then we stayed in there another 90 minutes, just kept talking, sharing stories. And then I'd come back like a month later, and he'd see me from across the room and like run over and hug me. I'm like, this guy is like so misunderstood. I mean, I think people see now.
He's a deep thinker, man. I listen to a lot of his stuff.
We went to prison, and he just read philosophy the whole time, and yeah, he's an
intelligent guy.
He
Listen,
really
he didn't go to school at the
intelligent.
age of 13. Look at the way he was brought up.
Yep.
He still did what he did with his life and made some mistakes. Who hasn't? But he is a very intelligent guy. I was watching him with who's the Indian philosopher?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw when he was talking to Tyson. And
I did.
It was very. I loved it. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they were talking about fear and anxiety. And the way he was talking to Tyson, the way he was so receptive towards everything. He's a very, very intelligent guy.
Yeah.
Truly. May not be book smart in that respect, but.
And then another random one, I like did a Korean TV show where it was like me and 3 other soft guys, and we battled all the Korean special ops teams, and it was tough. It was like being back in SEAL training at times because we'd sleep like 2 hours a night. We'd even be on a bus to like travel go from one side of Korea to the other, do it, film, be back. Like, dude, it was just nonstop. But we became like super close with all our Korean brothers and the producers, and I was like, wow, that really wasn't on my bucket list to be on a Korean TV show, but it was epic. And yeah, all these really cool experiences. You just got to be kind of open to what the world brings you.
Absolutely. And what are you doing tonight? It's tonight, right?
Yeah, so I'm going up for an event with Operation 300. They have Camp Valor, which takes Gold Star children and fathers shooting and doing different activities. It's to honor Aaron Vaughn, who was killed in Extortion 17. So his family created Operation 300 out of Stuart, Florida, and they put on a lot of different events. So Greta actually connected me with a bunch of the people maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah, when we had the
And
podcast.
yeah, and so yeah, I've been involved since, and they asked me to help instruct on the Frogmen shoot. So go up, have a dinner, and then teach shooting for 2 days.
That's awesome.
You will love it. They
You
have
told me
it-
about it last year. I registered,
Yeah.
and then I went to hit the button, and it said 5,000 for the day or something like that. And I'm like, a little too rich for my blood, but I want to do it.
They work with first responders too, and they have the big gala dinner November 1st this year.
Red, white, and blue bash.
Yeah,
Yep.
you will love that. It's
Oh, yeah,
it's
it's gotta be.
just you'll see the behind the scenes and
Yep.
everybody that's put in the work and all the kids, and it's a really good foundation.
Yeah, I'm sure very inspiring.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
It's a beautiful way for their family, the Vaughns, to honor Aaron
Yeah.
and his life and be able to keep his memory strong.
Absolutely. So let me ask you now, to the men and women who are kind of struggling, former first responders, vets, various issues, whether it's PTSD, maybe they had stuff going on in childhood, they're just lost. What's your advice? What do you tell them if someone comes to you like, Jeff, I don't know what to do in my life now?
Yeah, find a community. I think isolation is really a killer. You got to be in a great community. Doesn't have to be a lot of people, just has to be some people you're very close with that you can count on when things are tough. And then you got to have another mission. A lot of veterans and first responders, once they get out, can struggle because they have this important mission of helping others and serving our country. And so you just got to find another way to continue to serve and find a new mission. And when you're feeling in a really tough moment, you got to just remember it comes like waves. Like sometimes like a big wave is crashing on top of you and you feel like you're really struggling, but you got to remember then there's going to be a break. And then sometimes the waves are very positive, amazing things. It's like, what do you tell a happy man to make him sad and a sad man to make him happy? Do you know?
No.
This too shall pass.
I
Everything's
love
temporary.
that.
Yeah.
You got to remember this too shall pass.
Yes.
And even in the happy moments, they're like, don't take this for granted because this too shall pass.
Yeah, either way.
But yeah, I count find a community, your family, find the things that matter. It's heartbreaking to see different fathers who commit suicide and leave their family. Some of the most amazing people I know, you never think it would have happened.
Yeah.
And they do it. And it's like, how, Kate, you got to remember that you're not stopping the pain. You're just stopping your pain and putting it on your family. And if you can think of that, you're not going to think, oh, I'm going to stop my pain and give it to my daughter, give it to my son. You're not going to hurt yourself then. So you got to remember, you're not stopping the pain. You're putting it on your child. You're
Exactly.
putting it on your wife.
Forever.
Yes.
So, and there's so many people like my father who would have given anything to be able to raise me and be there for me. And he was killed by a tractor trailer. He would do anything
Yep.
to have been there for me. And so you have the opportunity. Don't take it away from yourself.
Yeah. I think the hardest part for us is because most of us are raised that showing emotion is weakness.
Yeah.
We need to learn to become vulnerable. And thank God for Eddie Penny, because if he did not do that podcast and allow himself to become vulnerable when he was telling that story, which allowed me to become vulnerable, I now know that I subconsciously got permission to cry and lost it, and literally changed the entire trajectory of my life because of that man. I will meet him one day, and he's going to have a 235-pound guy crying on him. But that one podcast changed my life. So it's incumbent upon guys like you and me and others to talk to other alpha males and tell them about the power of being vulnerable and the need for it to heal. Because if you're not honest with yourself, you can't be honest with anyone else. When you look in that mirror, you have to be honest with what you're seeing.
Yeah. I agree, and I think it goes both ways for men and women.
Yeah,
Not
women
just
too.
for it's like a lot of women struggle with PTSD and they feel like enclosed and they have nowhere to go, nowhere to be, no purpose. The
Yep.
sense of having no purpose coming out of the military, or even doctors and nurses, first responders. Everybody goes through that. What do I do when I retired?
Yeah. Well, you see with like my housewives, kids grow, they get older, they're out of the house. Now what do I do? Who am I?
My nest is empty. What do I do now?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to have love for yourself. And for people like us, we're so focused on everything else, you forget to like have that love for yourself sometimes. I was literally just in Dallas, I go quarterly for different things going on with Adaptive Training Foundation. And they had Ben Holt there, who is leading this special breath work. It's called sonic neural breath work. And you do this breathing for probably 90 minutes or so. And then you have your intentions that you focus on, and it puts you into this unbelievable state. And from that, it's like I could like the way I love my family, I could feel it for myself too in that moment, and think of like, wow, all these things you've done, because you know, as a man, you don't like harp on the things you've done. You're like, all right, what's the next thing I have to do? What's the next thing I have to do? And it through that and like focusing on it and these intentions, and then it like came to me. It's like, wow, you've done all this. You've made your dreams come true like multiple times, and you're there for your family. You're there for your friends. You're like someone that people, and it allowed me to like feel all this love for myself in these moments. And I was like, wow, I need to like try to be more present with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think most men just don't, maybe women too, just don't, we're so focused outward. We have to be focused inward as well. And yeah.
Very important words. And the way we talk to ourselves. I know myself, I screwed up something. I'd be like, you stupid MFer. And my wife was like, why do you talk like that? Would you say it to someone else? I'm like, no. She's like, why do you say it to yourself?
Yeah.
No one talks to you more than you talk to yourself. So
Yeah.
talk to yourself nicer. And I literally changed that. It sounds like it's nothing, but it actually makes a big difference.
Yeah,
You know?
it's a negative
Yeah.
manifestation.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like increasing that neural pathway in your brain to be thinking negative thoughts about yourself instead of the opposite way around.
Or even getting upset about little things. I remember probably when I was younger and I'd be like trying to drive fast and stuck in traffic and like, and now it's just like I can't be bothered. If like traffic, I'm like, I'm not going to get upset about traffic ever.
I'll get
I'm
there
not
when
going
I get there.
I'm not going to road rage. I'm not going to, it's like, I need to have this energy for positive things. It's not going to help anything if I get upset in this moment, or like some things I can't control. I'm not going to get upset about it.
It's a skill. It's a skill
It
to
is.
develop.
Yeah.
And it takes time, especially when you're so used to serving others
Yep.
and putting yourself last.
Yeah, it is. Very true. Very important. No, I need to work on that myself big time. The road rage. Not rage, but I just get worked up. I'm like, why? You're not going anywhere. This is
They
doing
can't hear
nothing.
you.
It's a
They
wasted
can't hear you.
It's a wasted emotions. You just shut up and just chill, dude.
They can't hear you
Yeah.
anyways. You know, they're arguing, calling the guy's name. And just,
Exactly.
Can't hear you.
Yep. They don't care either way. So, so Greta, anything you want to ask? Anything you want to add?
No, I'm just I'm excited to be here, and always love having Jeffrey around. He's awesome. Great stories.
you.
Oh,
Good
absolutely.
vibration. And he's just an inspiration, like the real meaning of no quitting.
Yeah, truly.
Not quitting. Your body is breaking down, falling apart, and he's there pushing through it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
great
if
story.
you want to, I'll tell you this. If you go to Dallas and train with these athletes who have spinal cord injuries and
Adaptive
have lost
vibration.
limbs, or have, some horrible cerebral palsy, so many things. You think you have it bad,
Yep.
or you have something wrong with you, and then you see these athletes thriving
Pushing.
in and doing these crazy workouts and never giving up, and you're just like, can't feel sorry for myself.
Right,
Like
right.
these people are still pushing and
And they're
doing
showing
these
up every day.
and whether it's an 18-year-old cheerleader who did a backflip and landed on her neck, or a 19-year-old girl who got thrown out of her car, leg ripped off, hanging upside down from a telephone pole, electrocuted, and still lives, and through a miracle, and then they're in there working out every day. And next to Marines or Army vets who've been blown up, or Navy SEALs, all doesn't matter what people, and they're all working out together from every background. And it's like that yin and yang, balancing each other too. And it's like just the most awesome environment, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's gotta be
And
so
you
much
can't
great.
feel sorry for yourself
You can't.
ever.
Not that we should compare ourselves to others, but how can
Yeah.
you? I had a meme the other day I put up, or a reel. It was a guy with no legs, and he had 2 snack tables, and he was walking in a city with these 2 snack tables. I'm like, and I was kind of going through some stuff myself. I'm like, man, you kidding me? You going through stuff, and you look at what this guy has to deal with every day in his life? Come on. So we need to see that every now and then to put ourselves kind of back in place.
Yeah.
And get that mindset going again. So, my brother, it was fantastic meeting you. Fantastic
Likewise.
talking to you.
Likewise.
Pleasure. Again, I loved everywhere I see you. You're smiling. It's infectious, and I love seeing everything you're doing. So, hopefully, get you on down the line again.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, because I would love to have you on. Your story's so inspirational. Everything you're doing, continue to do. You work with all these organizations. Guys who are in these positions like Jeff, who are accessible to these organizations, please give of yourself, because he's making such a difference in other people's lives. To me, that's the biggest thing you could do. And, God putting him in this position to be able to affect others is just such a gift. And what you're doing with it is incredibly inspirational. I love seeing it again. I just, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Your mom must be so proud. I can't even imagine it. So, congratulations.
Yeah.
All right, guys. If you like what you saw, please hit like and subscribe, and we will see you soon.
Order, shot fired, officer down, shot fired, officer down. Got a city officer down, shot fired.
223, be advised, we have a visual on enemy paratroopers in grid Papa uniforms.
Welcome to the Resilient Warrior Nation, a podcast dedicated to inspiring hope and healing for first responders, military veterans, and anyone facing PTSD and trauma